Do you enjoy bacon, ham, and pork chops? Do you care about swine health and well-being? You know about the COVID-19 pandemic, but have you heard about the pandemic affecting pigs all over the world? My name is Dr. Rachel Schambow, and today I'm going to talk about African swine fever, what it is, why it's important, and what our lab is doing to help protect pigs here in the United States. Like COVID, African swine fever, or ASF, is caused by a virus, but this virus only infects pigs. ASF causes a severe hemorrhagic disease, meaning excessive bleeding in different organs in the skin that almost always leads to death. It's not a risk to human health, and it's not a food safety concern for people, but it is very severe for pigs. There's no treatment for African swine fever, so we can't help pigs that get it, and there's no vaccine yet for it either, so it's difficult to prevent the spread of the disease and protect uninfected pigs. Over 30 countries have been infected with ASF since it spread from its native continent of Africa in 2007. Since then, it has spread to Russia, China, and into Central Europe and Southeast Asia. Most concerning to the United States, it was detected in the Dominican Republic and Haiti last year. Since 2020, nearly 1.7 million pigs have been lost to this disease globally. We've never had African swine fever here in the United States, but as more places are infected, the threat of an introduction here continues to grow. An ASF outbreak in the United States would be devastating for animal health and for our economy. Our swine industry is really important here. For example, in 2020, we produced 13% of the world's pork, raised over 115 million hogs, and exported over 6.5 billion pounds of pork, totaling over $7.7 billion. If ASF were to enter the United States, we would immediately lose our export markets and could face devastating losses of our pig population. For example, in 2018 to 2020, China, the world's largest pork producer, lost nearly half their pig population to ASF. It's imperative that we do everything we can to keep this virus out of our country. I've told you that there's no treatment or vaccine for African swine fever. So what are our options for facing this problem? There are three critical areas that we can focus on. First is prevention, or keeping the virus out of the U.S. Second is early detection and control strategies, because the faster that we identify an outbreak in our country, the quicker we can respond and the smaller it will hopefully be. And finally, biosecurity on farms to prevent them from getting the virus, through measures like disinfection of items coming onto the farm or preventing contact with wild animals. Our lab is focused on projects that target prevention and early detection and control. Next, I'll talk with you about one project that we recently completed aiming to help prevent the introduction of ASF here in the US. The ASF virus can live for a long time on surfaces and in various products. One way we think ASF could enter the United States might be through animal feed products. In our recently published study, we examined the risk or chance that ASF would enter the U.S. in contaminated corn or soybean meal. Our model estimated that the risk from these products was likely low but highly uncertain, meaning that the risk could change dramatically depending on the circumstances and situation being considered. We identified some key areas where further research is needed, such as the survival of the virus under feed processing conditions and feed shipping and transport times. This work specifically helps to direct limited resources to critical research and control areas, ultimately helping to mitigate high risks for ASF entry. Together, these works help protect the U.S. pork industry by preventing a deadly, large-scale ASF outbreak. And as a bonus, the tools we are developing can even be adapted to other swine and livestock diseases in the future. Thank you for listening and learning about African swine fever.